Nursing students develop mental strength without realizing it. I'm a fourth year nursing student and I'm a final year nursing student, and today I want to talk about why nursing students become mentally stronger than most students. So nursing students are mentally stronger than most other students in other universities. I'll say the first point that I really want to talk about is the exposure that they go through. The exposure to real responsibilities very early on. So that exposure actually helped them develop a very strong personality, very strong mentality. And with this exposure, it actually goes through all different types of exposure to hard stuff. And I'm gonna give you a good example of it. As an example, the first type of exposure is the exposure to hard situations with lectures, with preparation. Nursing universities, by default, is one of the hardest universities to study at. Everybody knows this. Right off the bat, there is a big exposure to stress, to stressful situations, to very hard topics and subjects to understand at a very minimal time, especially at the first few years. All the domain is brand new, you have no clue about the field, and you have to study all of these complex, very big subjects when it comes to anatomy, physiology, microbiology, pharmacology. These are big topics and heavy, and you have no clue about the terminology, the medical terms. You have no clue about the semiology. It's pretty much all means the same thing, right? You have no clue about this field. You have no clue about anything, really. You're coming from high school or whatever, and you're going and getting exposed to all of this, which really gives you some sort of resilience that goes with you along the way. Now, there's also some hardships along the way. As an example, when you get to specialties, not in the first year, but second year and after, you get specialties depending on what specialty you're choosing in nursing university. And these just are really hard situations to just exist in that really, by default, makes you stronger, makes you harder, or makes your mentality stronger as a student. There is the other aspect of it, which is internship. Obviously, as a nursing student in nursing university, you get exposed to a lot of stressful situations, whether that be in patients, whether that be in emergency rooms, whether that be in some situations that really don't happen to any other university students except in the medical field. As an example, my best friend, one of my good friends in final year nursing university, actually just had a situation that happened to him about 3 days ago or so. And actually in his service, one of the people had a heart attack. So in this situation, it's stressful by default. You are programmed, or you have studied and gotten prepared and trained for this situation, but nevertheless, it doesn't mean it's not stressful. It doesn't mean it's not hard. It doesn't mean you don't have the exposure to hard situations. The second point that I really want to talk about is learning to function under pressure. Now, pressure is almost the same as saying nursing, if being honest. Because a lot of the biggest part about nursing is handling pressure, is working under pressure, is just not letting that stress get into you. As an example, I'm gonna give one of the best examples. Last year we had an exam in the emergency room. So emergencies, just emergency situations coming in, and we were 12 students. So 12 students, and trust me, we were running. So it was an exam, obviously there was supervisor there, it was an exam, but nevertheless, 12 people in addition to the already existing staff, and it was morning, so not even the evening or night where there's more situations or more of emergencies, and maybe sometimes even more dangerous emergencies. It was the morning, and we haven't stopped not a single second. It felt like we were on a running pace. We were running, literally running. We were running, 12 of us, just running with this staff, with this. And this shows how much pressure actually is. I would say one of the other pressures, obviously, is the exams, especially at first. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people carry that pressure until final year. I would say for me, I don't really get pressured right now with the exams. I get a healthy stress. But a lot of students really do get pressured even in final years of nursing university, because just the exams are really hard. The topics are hard to comprehend. There's diverse topics. So you have topics that are related to health. There's topics that are related to health organization system in the country. And there's topics that are, I wouldn't say off topic, but are more complementary. You have communication, you have, obviously you have law, or health law, obviously. You have other stuff like sociology, it's also related to health, but you have some other subjects like methodology, research topics, research subjects. All of these are not really related to your field of health, but you have to pass them as well as the topics that you already pass. Now, the third point that I really want to talk about, and I think it's really important, which is accepting feedback and correcting daily or correction daily. So feedback cycles is very important when it comes to nursing career. And the reason behind it is if you have no feedback cycles, you cannot learn and you cannot be better. In this field as nursing university students, you have a lot of things to learn. It's a very vague field. Because of that, especially in the first year as an example, which is your first time in internship, without feedback cycles, you're literally gonna make every mistake possible. Because although you studied everything theoretically, but the domain and the internship, real life is different than that. So without the feedback cycles, without your colleague telling you, oh, this wrong, this right, this, you can't really progress. Without the staff actually telling you, without the staff actually helping you, without, let's say, professors when it comes to practice inside the university. So all of these are feedback cycles to actually correct yourself, which gives you that mentality, that stronger mentality than other students, because a lot of other universities don't really have that feedback, whether they are more into theories or they're more into practice, where there's a lot of school of thoughts. But when it comes to nursing, although there is a couple of school of thoughts, but really, whether it's right or wrong. So you want to do it right. And this is the importance also of communication. So feedback, also a big part of it is communication, but communication really will help you, because sometimes you have something, you have an information, it might be wrong. So you don't have to do it, you're talking, and the other guy corrects you, the staff, the doctor, whoever. So that cooperation, that feedback really gives you the advantage. I would say the fourth point that I really want to add is handling failure and handling mistakes as a nursing student. So this is one of the almost sad parts, but it's really true. So in nursing university, there is a lot of handlings of mistakes and failures. Whether that being in classes, whether that being in exams, there's a lot of failures. As I said, the subjects are hard. Obviously in internship, there is a lot of mistakes you could do, or even at the beginning, at the end, or in the middle. It doesn't really matter. There's a lot of diverse mistakes that you can do in nursing university, and you will get humbled. So nursing university, if you really think you're egoistic, try to go there, spend there a couple of days. You will get humbled. Because every mistake you do, you will get humbled about it. There's someone who's going to correct you. Here's how you do it, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to, through the process, by default, you get used to handling failure and mistakes. I do a mistake, someone corrects me, no big of a deal. I keep going, I move on. And that's really one of the things that you really learn with being in nursing university. I'd say the fifth point that I really want to talk about is how this actually helps and affects life in general. Now, not in general, but all of these aspects really symbolizes themselves in life. And honestly, I've noticed this for the first time, or symbolically, with my friends who just graduated this year from nursing university. They're all nurses, congratulations. But what really makes the distinguishing factors is that the moment they all worked in different parts, right, not in the city, even just everybody went to another city, but one person worked in the city we studied in, each one of them had a fast adaptability, which is the thing that nursing university students, you learn in nursing university, is you adapt fast. Obviously, you get into a new service every time, you have cycles, new service, you have to adapt to the staff, you have to adapt to the drugs, to medicaments, to the medical situations, to obviously the pathologies, which is the diseases or illnesses in the service. So you have that adaptability that gets fast. And that showed itself with these students that just graduated. Because I have the contacts, I contact them all the time and I see all that feedback, see how they're doing. And one of the things I noticed, it's not only they were integrated very fast with the staff, two, they adapted very fast to the cities they were in, whether they rented places or they're commuting to work, it doesn't really matter. Each one of them adapted very fast. All of them had a very practical plans on how they execute. And actually, a lot of them adapted first day, which I've never seen. And in comparison with these nursing universities, with a lot of my friends from other fields, let's say finances or all different fields, I have a lot of friends that really had the same situation. They started working in other places. They had it really hard. I say like the first 4 months, it was just them complaining. University students, they got back to it. They got right at it, which shows just how the lessons you learn in nursing university actually affects you in life. Now let's do a quick recap of the notes. First one is the exposure to real responsibility quite early on. Two is the ability to work and perform under pressure. Three, the feedback cycles or never ending fast feedback cycles. Four, the handling of mistakes and failures. And five, its symbolization in life in general. So this what actually makes nursing university students stronger than all other students. Please make sure to write down below in the comments what is your biggest problem that you have faced in nursing university, and I'm gonna make a video on how I fixed it myself. Thank you.